Hello and welcome to another episode of Descenders Help Track Building Unity's Path Generator, everything else, etc. We're just going to hop right into it. Ignore everything I got here. This is just a basic setup I got for all my stuff. It's just all my scenes and assets, but we're going to first start with going to create a 3D object. We're going to create a terrain. We're going to go over to the settings of the terrain and the inspector field. And we're going to set this to 3000 by 3000 by, let's say, 900 and 2049, because you always want a higher height map resolution if you're going to a higher width and length on your terrain here. Just basic thing, what I'm doing, a little terrain. Everyone, you always want to set these settings first. If you don't do these, if you change any of these, everything will mess up afterwards. So you always want to create your terrain, define these settings of whatever you want to do, and then that's what you're going to deal with. So next thing after we do that is I'm going to go to my paint on my terrain. We're going to add some textures here. And I already got the grassy hill, a beetle one. I'm going to just add that. It naturally changes all green here. And we're going to add a second one just so we have a path. Obviously, you can add more as we deal with bigger paths and what you want to do. But just as a very quick example of how to work with this path generator. So we set up our terrain here. Next thing we want to do is height map it. So we go up to our terrain window, we go to height mapper, we select our terrain, drag it into our terrain object, and then we have our grayscale that Linus from Discord was very nice to make for me. That's a pretty much, with our settings here, we'll make this like a 40% grade terrain. So we just hit map and then boom, now we have a nice steep slope terrain going on. All right, once that is done, next thing I like to do is if you zoom in here really quickly, you'll see it's pretty jagged a little bit. So I always like to use my terrain smoothness editor. So I can just go up to Tools, Terrain Smoothness Editor that I already have in here, drag in my terrain into this, and I apply my smoothness to the maximum. Apply it, boom, hit OK, and it'll smooth everything out. You can do it another time if you want to make it a little bit smoother. Boom. So now the terrain is mostly as smooth as it can be, versus what you could normally do is somewhere under the inspector here. I don't do it, but you can paint it all and smooth it. And it's just like that takes too much time. It's easier to just select your terrain and smooth it all. Next thing I'm going to do here is add our road path generator. So we're going to go up to Tools, Road Path Generator, create road path generator. And as you see, it should have created a object right here, road path generator. Next thing, under the inspector of it, we're going to add a bunch of control points to it. So we're just going to add two, and it's, I don't know, let's say 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. And as you see right away, when you add them, we start to see some error messages when we zoom in here. You'll see like, hey, CP1, 2 are very close, CP2 or 3 very close, etc., whatever. So it's just like I'm trying to help people understand how this generator works. So you have error messages right away to kind of help you say, hey, something's amiss. So usually what I do here is once I created a bunch of control paths, I just go up to the y-axis to zoom to the top grid. Our top slope here is all the way at the top here. So I'm going to just go ahead and move this whole group object. We'll just move it all the way here, and you see this, there's a white box. You just want to make sure that's within your terrain zone. So I'm just going to move it somewhere in this zone. All right, we can zoom in a little bit here. And now we're going to kind of extend our path. So road point 0 is pretty much where we just set it. Road point 1, we just want to make sure it's past it. Road point 2, we're going to do the same thing. Road point 3, and etc. You kind of get the drift. I'm just moving each one of these out to make a straight path, so that none of them are overlapping, because they're all currently overlapping right now. All right, so now you see there is 161 meters between the first control points, 164, 216, 201, 193, etc. That seems fine for me. We can move them if we want. If we want to add curves, you could select one of these and just drag it this way, and now you have a curve in your path. So I'm going to just kind of leave it as it was. And we're just doing a basic example of a straight path here. So once you have them all on roughly your X and Y axes in Unity here, I always get confused with Y and Z in Unity versus Blender. Anywho, once they are all aligned, then you go to your inspector of your road path generator, and you look for this big blue line here that says snap all points to the terrain. It will pretty much bring all those points up to the level of the terrain where they were at, so you don't have to use this green arrow here to try to manually adjust them. It'll just naturally snap them all to you. All right, now they're all at the terrain level here. Next thing we're going to do is go down to our control point types, and we're going to change a couple to some jumps. So I'm just going to change these couple. We're going to have, let's say there's, what is that, 4 or 5 jumps. Let's just do all of them. And you see we're getting a lot of warnings right now because however the jump is currently, default settings are wherever the landing zone is with this slope of terrain, it's not happy with it. So we need to redefine all these. If you just zoom into the first one here, let's go ahead and make this lip height a little bit bigger, and you see everything's moving with it. And then we just want to change our landing distance to be where, that makes it a little bit harder for the user, and green pretty much makes it super simple where you don't really have to do much to make the jump happen. Or you can go a little bit further and then it gets a little bit harder. So we'll just start with this first one right around here. It says landing angle around 7 degrees. So let's go ahead and change our slope degrees to around that degrees. We'll go 10. Just good enough. All right, now we're going to go to the next one here. And for simplicity, instead of changing all these settings, I'm going to just make it so it all looks good and works. So we're just going to change our landing distance. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Let's go to here. We're going to change our landing distance on all of these just so that they all match and so it looks proper and such. So there's that one. We're going to go down to the next one here. Change the landing distance. Boom. Oh, there it is. We're going to go down to the next one. Change the landing distance. That matches up. And then we're going to go to the next couple here. Just so that when we go actually test it in the game, we don't crash and it makes it easier to work with. As I said, we can go ahead and change all of these settings. There's the lip height of them. So on this last one, let's make it really tall. So let's go really tall here. And then we're going to have to change our landing distance to match it to make the physics work on it. All right, so now everything, you see all of our physics are green, so when we generate a road, everything should be pretty good and work good in the game. Right now I do have a bug in my script, so I kind of have to hit generate road. Wait a second, it generates it all. As you see, it's not making any of the jump lips for any reason. I don't know why. So we're going to hit clear road. I'm going to hit generate road again, and then boom, there's our jump lips going on. As you see, there's other options. We can go ahead and add like a ditch to some of these. So let's go ahead and clear this road. And on this first one, we're going to go lower the gap terrain and let's lower it. Oh, that's really deep, but whatever. Let's go 35 meters. That's like, if you fall in there, you're dead. But let's see what happens. Go ahead and generate road. And as I said, there's a bug going on with this, so I might have to do this twice, but that seems to work. So for some reason, it's just the very first generation I have a bug, not any after. But you see it made a huge ditch here that you got to jump over. And if you land in here, you're dead. So that's pretty much how this script works. I'll quickly go ahead and stop this video and start it with the in-game option of starting up here and see what it looks like in-game. As I said, every time I'm doing this is a whole new example. I don't know how it will look. We're all going to experience this at the same time, and I'll see you guys very soon. And a few moments later, here we are on our path that we just generated. Let's see how it looks. Who knows if this is good or not. We're going to try to keep our speed around 60 because that's what the jumps are designed to hit. Oh, you see that was, I needed to go a little faster there. All right, let's try it another again. Here we go. And it's a kind of fun path generator because it teaches you new skills about the game. And unfortunately, I still went a little too slow. It's pretty close. I did this one with a pretty big gap, and I still need to fix the landing zone so it doesn't have this upward going on. I'm sorry, I'm really failing at this. I spend more time scripting than playing the game, so apologize for my shittiness. But here we go. We're gonna switch to this. Still a little slow, but yeah. As you see, the landing zones I need to fix a little, so it's not as difficult. But when you say around 60, we should say we do all this. Oh, we'll try one more time. We'll see if this can work. Come on, I can do this. We're just new path testing, no experience, seeing how it works. Alright, let's back here. Let's go, stay around 60.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Going. Alright, let's go, slow down. Back flip, let's go. Alright, we're gonna do 360 here. Here we go, here we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh gosh. Anywho, there's just a little quick example of what the path generator looks like in real life in Descenders. Hope you guys have a good night.